Decent with the Warsong Commander. Pyromancer is not bad, but I wouldn't call it good either. What are we gonna have for late game cards? It's honestly not a terrible late game card. Let's just go for the face and finish them off. We can get other 2s, that'll be 3 2s. Usually I pick 3 2s kind of as a gimme, almost always. Warriors have a lack of AoE, so we're probably going to go Pyromancer. Essentially, if we cast any spell, Pyromancer can do a lot of AoE damage. Good against Warlocks and Blood Imps. Assassin's okay. I don't really care one way or the other about Assassin. It's usually not something I want to play with. Pyromancer's a 3/2 at the end of the day, so even if you don't use the spell, the battle, not Battle Cry, but the persistent effect, it's going to be strong value based on what it gives you. Tide Collar's trash, we'll probably go Pyromancer just to pick it up. They do have better early game drops, but having a 3/2 for 2 is always nice to play on turn 2. Magma Rager's garbage unless you're playing with a commander, and even then, we're not guaranteed to get a Warsong Commander. Booty Bay doesn't really save much. Cleric all the way. Swordsmith's not bad. Most of the time, I want to play Rushier than a Swordsmith. I'd rather play the Juggler. Having a 3/2 for 2 versus a 1/3. I feel like you need to play taunts a lot higher with a Swordsmith. You really need to play a lot more control for the Swordsmith, but big fan of the Knife Juggler. Secret Keeper, yeah dude. Secret Keeper OP. Grunt, trash. Sergeant's okay, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'd rather have the draw power and the little bit of armor. Not a huge fan of any of these, but shield block can really help you against Rushy, and if you're hitting with your weapon a lot, can save you a little bit, so pick that up. Inventor's not bad. Frostwolf Grump's garbage. It's funny, the later it gets, the more I suck at talking. Fuzz in my drink. Gurubashi isn't bad. I don't know if I really care for it in a warrior deck. It does take a few hits, but I think I'd rather have the draw power. Most of the time, warriors have issues with draw power since they fucked Battle Rage so hard. So we'll probably pick up the Inventor. Smith's okay. Brewmaster's decent. Weaponsmith's great. Weapons are always good. A 3/3 for 4 isn't great, but basically it's a 5/5 sort of with the 2/2 weapon. We have no weapons yet, so that can be nice to pick up some cards. Reaper versus Knight. I like the Knight, but I like weapons. Rampage is okay, but Arcanite Reaper is where it's at. This isn't a great weapon, but it's not a bad one either. That's actually a tough call, Spellbreaker versus War Axe. You could basically argue that War Axe is always going to be good. Spellbreaker is usually going to be good. I think War Axe is probably the second to Warsong Commanders. I think Fire War Axe is probably their best weapon. And honestly, if you don't get weapons early on, your Warsong Commanders aren't really going to save you. So I think this is the top 2 picks. We don't have enough spells really for Auctioneer. If weapons kind of dispels, then that'd be legit, but most of the time that's going to be pretty weak. Questing's also kind of weak. We do have some draw power to play with it. Could play late game possibly. Master's okay. We don't have a... We could actually get a Frothing Berserker. We could get a Ghoul. Those cards get more value with other cards, or with Imp Master, excuse me. Questing's okay. Questing's usually pretty situational. I wouldn't usually play this in a warrior deck. I don't want to go Imp Master without having a Ghoul yet, a Cult Master, or a Frothing Berserker, but I'm assuming we've got 20 picks. We should get at least one of those. So I'm probably going to pick up Imp Master. Gadgetzan doesn't do enough for us. We don't have enough spells. I don't value enough warrior spells for that to be useful. And Questing's pretty hit or miss, so Imp Master it is. So I really like Blade Master. I think Commanding Shout's amazing. I think Commanding Shout's one of the better spells warriors have, especially if you can play chargers and stuff. So I like Blade Master, but Commanding Shout's great. So I think we're gonna have to pick up Battle Rage. We've got, so yeah, and that was the thing with Imp Master, it damages itself. That's one other creature that's damaged. And Pyromancer can even damage everything, so that can give us Battle Rage as well. So pick that up. These are all pretty poor. We're probably gonna go Raid Leader. I think Dragonhawk's bad. I think War Golem isn't good, but I wouldn't call it bad either. I don't like big cards like this. I think 7 for the most part is too high, unless it's a Stormwind Champion. I'd take Stormwind Champion over this card any day of the week. Boulderfist Ogre is a different story. It's a 6/7 for 6. It's still 6 play. So if you play a 6, you can essentially play, you know, 3s and 4s. If you play a 7, you can only play 3s and 2s, which generally gives a smaller margin of good creature on the board. So we're probably going to play Raid Leader and get some more crap on the board. Since we got a Raid Leader, we can actually value like some things that summon other creatures a little higher now because they're going to have more damage. Zerker's decent. Korkan Elite's one of my favorites though, and Goldstar Footman's trash. So Warsong Commander, I like Warlord, but Warsong Commander is amazing. Cult Master, no question. Cult Master is one of my favorites. Ghoul, like we talked about, Imp Master and some of these other cards we can sack in. It's a great pickup. So now we've got, wow, another commander, amazing. So now that we've got some of this stuff, that's gonna summon, synergize with Ghoul, Raid Leader. We're going a shit. We basically want creatures that flood the board now. We basically have some guards we can build around. We want a lot of shit that will, like Tidehunter here. If we had a bunch of bullshit cards, we could pick up Tidehunter, but Oryx is too good. So like Razorfin, basically this gives, like, you could go, oh well, Panther or Razorfin. Well, actually we've got Cult Master, synergizes with more creatures, Raid Leader synergizes with more creatures, Ghoul synergizes with more creatures. So this is a hands down gimme pick for Razorfin, even though arguably Panther is stronger. I personally would pick Razorfin all day with this kind of a deck. Another Imp Master, Seer's trash, Addict is trash, Imp Master, 2 of those, not bad. Cleric, great card. Kobold, never going to use it. Dollar Mage, even worse than Kobold. Fucking 3 Warsong Commanders, holy shit. Or 3 Clerics. Honestly, look at our 3 drops, holy shit. It's a tough call. On its own, Warsong Commander is not that strong of a card by itself. I could even actually consider going Blood Sail. If you go Blood Sail with like a Arcanite Reaper with charge, like that's ridiculous. We're probably gonna go Cleric though, just because Cleric is really good. But we really don't have that many 2s. We have 2 commanders already though. That's our thing. Commander's a great card though. I've never been in a situation where I've had too many commanders, so I can't really wrap my mind around what having too many commanders would actually do for us. I don't know if I can justify picking Raider over either of those cards though. I like Raider, but I think I like Clerics more. Yeah, I think Raider's my 3rd choice here, honestly. I just don't know if you can have too many commanders. So essentially, oh, that's tough. I think I want Cleric. I like Cleric a lot. Honestly, if we played Commander, we actually play it early and often. We wouldn't really have to worry about saving them very much. So there's actually a lot of benefit to that. I don't know how I feel about this. I think I want to go Commanders, and I can basically play Commander whenever I want. I'm not going to have to really save it. But really you don't need Commanders until late. You need Commanders about turn 5 or later, probably turn 6 or later. Yeah, we're going to go Cleric. Cleave or Heroic Strike. I think Heroic Strike's okay. I'd much rather have Cleave. One-on-one, we can kill off 1 creature with our weapons. Take the cleave. We got all low cards. This is unreal. Fairy Dragon versus Priestess. I think this is a shithouse late game card. Not really a fan of Priestess. Not really a fan of Voodoo Doctor. I like Dragon. It's a 2-drop. So I really don't want to pick up Nightblade. I think it's garbage. I'd rather have a Charger, even though it's a 2-drop. We got a shit ton of low cards, but we're going to be able to play pretty rushy. We're going to be able to play pretty... We should be able to play pretty aggro too. Fuck yes. Stormwind Champion is all the late game we need. Obviously I'd love to have a second Cult Master, but having a Stormwind Champion means that all of these cards now become late game. So, amazing pickup. Debatable here, Heroic Strike versus Inner Rage. We have nothing that really enrages though. We also have no Wind Fury creatures. This can actually do really well with our commanders. Make something just hit for nasty. Rogue Strike's okay. I really don't care for this card that much. We've got 3 weapons. Actually, we have 4 weapons, counting Weaponsmith. We're going to be hitting with our hero enough. I think I want to go Inner Rage and make something just... I mean, you could go Inner Rage there for a 6-2, kill off something we need to. 4-3, that's not very good. We don't have much with a lot of health though, do we? Basically, do I want a safe card or do I want more of a buff card? I think I want this. Actually, I think I want to go Heroic Strike. I don't know if I want to use it though. Boar's garbage. I mean, you could sack it for a Cult Master for an easy trade, or for an easy card, but I think that's kind of worthless. Probably going to go Inner Rage. Whirlwind versus Cult Master. I really don't care for Whirlwind that much. It gives Battle Rage a little bit of value. We got Cleave though, which is nice. I'll take a second Cult Master all day and fucking draw cards till game's over. So, Angry Chicken, OP. So where are we at on 2s? That's not really a 2-drop. I mean, it could be, but most times not. 2-2. We only have 3 2s versus Assassin. I think this card will be wasted. Now that we've got a Stormwind Champion, all our other cards are going to have a lot of value. So we'll take another 3-2. Questing actually can have more value since we got so many little cards. Don't have a ton of removal. I think we go Coda though. This gives us a decent 5, and it's a nice little removal as well. Kills imps. So, pretty interesting deck. Inner Rage, 2 Oryxes, amazing. 1 Battle Rage. Okay, I wouldn't. If I knew I was going to get 2 Cult Masters, I might not have picked the Battle Rage, but it's not that big a deal. Battle Rage actually does really well with Commanding Shot though. We got a lot of draw power. Pyromancers are okay. I've got to be careful not to fuck myself with that. Shield Block. I mean, we got a ton of draw power. We should be able to burn through our deck pretty easily. Play a lot of cards. Got a lot of synergy with the commanders. Cult Master. Only 1 elite. We don't have a lot of charge. Hopefully our weapons will make up for that. But, I mean, I don't like calling decks by what they're going to get. But this deck should get 7 wins. Based on previous decks, should get 7. Could easily get 9, depending on what we run into though.